Have you ever felt like you're just not good enough, even when you know you've got the skills? Imagine moving halfway across the world for your dream job, only to be hit by a massive wave of self-doubt. That was me. My name is Mark, and this is my story about finding my footing as a Filipino nurse here in the UK. Back in the Philippines, I was a confident nurse. I knew my stuff, I was respected, and I felt competent. So, when the opportunity to work in the UK came up, I jumped at it. I thought, this is it, the next big step. I packed my bags, said my goodbyes, and flew to a new country, full of hope and excitement. But the moment I stepped onto the ward for the first time, everything changed. The hospital environment was so different, the equipment, the protocols, even the way people talked to each other. It was all new. The British accent was a lot harder to understand in person than in the movies, and the slang, don't even get me started. I found myself constantly asking people to repeat themselves, feeling like I was slowing everyone down. My confidence, which had been my rock back home, completely shattered. I started second-guessing every single decision I made. Is this the right medication? Did I document that correctly? Am I speaking clearly enough? I was so scared of making a mistake that it felt like I was walking on eggshells all the time. The other nurses were incredibly skilled and seemed to move with such effortless confidence. And me, I felt like an imposter, a fraud who had somehow slipped through the cracks. I'd go home after a 12-hour shift, not just physically exhausted, but mentally and emotionally drained. I'd replay every conversation, every task, every moment I felt unsure. I'd call my family back home, trying to sound cheerful, but inside I was struggling. I remember one particularly tough day when a patient's family member seemed impatient with my accent. I felt so small, so incompetent. That night, I seriously thought about quitting and going home. I missed the familiarity, the comfort of my own culture, and most of all, I missed the confident nurse I used to be. But then, something shifted. I looked around and saw other international nurses who were thriving. What were they doing differently? I realized I couldn't let fear win. So, I made a plan. My first step was to face my communication barrier head-on. I started watching more British TV shows, not just for fun, but to actively listen to the accents and slang. I'd even practice repeating phrases. At work, I stopped being afraid to ask for clarification. Instead of just nodding along, I'd say, "Sorry, could you explain that one more time? I want to make sure I get it right." It was humbling, but people were surprisingly patient and happy to help. Next, I tackled my clinical skills. The UK system had its own way of doing things, so I became a student again. I asked my senior colleagues if I could shadow them during my breaks. I read every hospital policy and procedure I could get my hands on. I'd stay a little later to practice using new equipment until it felt like second nature. One of the charge nurses, a wonderful woman named Sarah, became my mentor. She saw I was trying hard and took me under her wing. She wouldn't just tell me what to do. She'd explain the why behind it, which helped me connect my previous knowledge to the new protocols. Slowly but surely, things started to change. I wasn't just surviving my shifts, I was starting to enjoy them. I began to anticipate what doctors would need. I could confidently talk to patients and their families, and I even started cracking jokes with my colleagues. The day I successfully managed a complex patient case on my own, the feeling of accomplishment was incredible. It was like a switch had been flipped. My biggest breakthrough, though, came from connecting with my fellow Filipino nurses. We started a small support group. We'd meet for coffee, share our struggles, and celebrate our wins. Realizing that I wasn't alone in my feelings of self-doubt was a massive relief. We shared tips on everything from passing UK exams to finding the best place for Filipino groceries. This community became my home, away from home. My family here in the UK, they reminded me of the resilience and warmth of our culture, and that gave me strength. Looking back, the journey was tough, really tough. There were so many days I wanted to give up. But building confidence isn't about never feeling fear or doubt. It's about facing it, one small step at a time. It's about being humble enough to ask for help and brave enough to keep learning. It's about finding your community, your tribe, who will lift you up when you're down. Today, I can proudly say I am a confident nurse in the UK. I'm not the same person who arrived here full of anxiety. I'm stronger, more resilient, and a better nurse for it. My journey taught me that our skills are universal, but adapting takes time and effort. My accent is still here, but now I see it as part of my identity, a reminder of where I came from and how far I've come. So, if you're out there feeling like an imposter, whether you've moved to a new country, started a new job, or are just facing a new challenge, please know that you are not alone. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small wins. Find your people. Keep pushing forward, because on the other side of that fear is a stronger, more confident version of you waiting to emerge. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. I'd love to hear about your own journeys in the comments below. See you in the next one.